Have you ever thought that a simple fruit, something you always thought was healthy, could actually seriously damage your health? Since we were children, we have been taught that fruit is a gift of nature, sweet, full of vitamins, antioxidants, a real natural candy. And for the most part, that's true. But there's a truth that's often overlooked, especially when our bodies begin to change, when our 60s, 70s, 80s, and beyond bring with them new challenges and sensitivities. Before we dive into this crucial topic, we ask you to like the video to support us and help us reach more people interested in senior health. Share it with anyone you think might benefit, a friend, a family member, a neighbor. Knowledge is valuable. And please let us know in the comments where you follow us from which city or region. We are happy to be able to feel you close and interact with our wonderful community. As we age, our metabolism slows, our digestive systems become more delicate, and blood sugar control can become more fragile. The reality is that some fruits, while healthy for a young person, can silently turn into a danger for the elderly. Yes, I said danger. We're talking about unexpected sugar spikes, risky drug interactions, or hidden acidity that can worsen existing conditions. They can cause serious harm if we're not informed. But the good news, and it is wonderful news, is that nature also offers us extraordinary fruits, true allies that promote heart health, fight inflammation, protect our memory, and even strengthen our bones. In this video, we will discover together which are the 4 fruits that, if you are over 60, you should consider not eating or consume with extreme caution. And even more importantly, I will reveal to you the 4 fruits that you should absolutely integrate into your daily diet. And if you stick around until the end, you'll discover how to make conscious, simple choices that can really make a difference in your long-term health, turning your meals into a daily act of wellness and wisdom for your body. Okay, now let's get to the heart of the matter. Now let's tackle the part that might surprise you, the fruits that require our utmost attention. I will not present them in a formal list, but as steps of discovery to understand together what pitfalls they can hide for those over 60. Let's start with the 4 dangerous fruits that you should never eat. Let's start with a seemingly innocuous fruit, the grapefruit. At first glance, it seems like the embodiment of health. Fresh, thirst-quenching, with that bright pink pulp and a reputation as a champion for the heart. Many consider it a perfect breakfast or a light snack. But for the elderly, especially for you who are over 60 and like many, take medications daily, this apparently harmless fruit hides a subtle and largely underestimated danger, a real silent killer for those who take drugs. Behind its refreshing, tart flavor lies a biochemical threat that few people talk about, a silent interference with the very medications you take to keep your heart strong, your blood pressure under control, your cholesterol stable, or your anxiety at bay. Grapefruit contains compounds that block a key enzyme in the liver that is responsible for metabolizing and eliminating a wide range of medications. When this enzyme is blocked, medications can build up in the bloodstream at dangerously high levels. The consequences can be sudden and devastating: severe muscle damage, cardiac arrhythmias, excessive bleeding, or excessive sedation. The tragedy is that most older people have no idea. It's not about living in fear, it's about acting wisely. Grapefruit is not evil in itself, but for the older person taking medications, the risk is simply not worth it. But if the bright grapefruit can hide such a danger, what other fruits, perhaps smaller and sweeter, could be less harmless than they seem? Think of cherries, small, shiny, so sweet and inviting. They seem like innocence-made fruit. But as we age, what was once a simple pleasure can begin to undermine our health. Cherries, especially in large portions or concentrated forms, are incredibly high in natural sugars. For the older adult, perhaps living with diabetes or reduced insulin sensitivity, all that sugar hits the bloodstream, causing significant blood sugar spikes, which are dangerous for diabetes. Additionally, cherries are naturally acidic, and for many older adults who suffer from chronic inflammation, arthritis, or joint pain, the acidity can make symptoms worse. Yes, They contain antioxidants, but if consumed in excess, especially processed, the high sugar and acid content can have the opposite effect than intended. It's almost heartbreaking because cherries seem so safe. But the truth is, as we age, even sweetness needs to be approached with discernment, especially for conditions like arthritis. And if these little fruits can upset your balance so much, imagine what happens with something much more common, like bananas, when potassium becomes a problem. For most of our lives, the banana has been considered the epitome of health, rich in potassium, good for cramps and energy. But as we age, our bodies no longer process nutrients as well as they once did, and too much potassium can silently become a threat. In older adults, especially those with kidney problems or taking blood pressure medications, this potassium can build up to dangerous levels. The kidneys work more slowly, and the excess is not eliminated, disrupting heart rhythm, muscle function, and even mental clarity. This condition, hyperkalemia, sends thousands of seniors to the emergency room. Most would never suspect bananas. It seems too simple, too healthy. But simplicity can be deceptive when internal systems are at their most fragile. And this is never more true than in the case of a fruit that hides behind the mask of health in a sneaky way. Dried fruit. They are there, well packaged. They seem so harmless, even nutritious. But for the elderly, dried fruit often hides a dark truth. They are sugar bombs disguised as well-being. When fruit is dried, the water is removed, but the sugars remain, concentrated. A handful of raisins is like a whole bunch of grapes concentrated, without the fiber to help slow the absorption of the sugar. Plus, many dried fruits have added sugars or preservatives like sulfites that can worsen conditions like asthma or migraines and cause intestinal inflammation. For seniors with diabetes, high blood pressure, or digestive sensitivities, these snacks can wreak silent havoc. Blood sugar spikes, gut upset, a false sense of health. Nuts may seem like a friend, but for many seniors, they become an invisible thief, stealing comfort, metabolic stability, and well-being. We need to learn to question not only what's sweet, but also what's packaged to appear healthy. But enough about what could threaten us. Now let's turn to hope, to the fruits that regenerate, protect, and energize, even at 60, 70, 80, and beyond. These are our allies, the fruits that can really save your health after 60, and that you should absolutely eat. This is the other side of the coin of the 4 dangerous fruits that you should never eat. In fact, let's talk about the 4 that you absolutely must eat. Let's start with a little blue fruit that might help you save your memory. Blueberries. There's something quietly magical about these little berries. A true protector of the brain. At a time in life when memory and mental clarity can begin to falter, blueberries offer hope and protection. They are very rich in anthocyanins that cross the blood-brain barrier to reduce inflammation and protect brain cells from stress. Regular consumption can slow cognitive decline and reduce the risk of Alzheimer's. For the elderly, they mean more time for memories, more clarity, more independence. They are also low in sugar and good for your heart and blood pressure. Half a cup a day can make a huge difference. In a world full of pills, blueberries remind us that some of the most powerful medicines come from the earth. And if this little blue fruit can improve your memory, imagine what a crisp, fiber-rich apple can do to protect your heart. Ah, apples. There's profound wisdom in the old saying, "An apple a day keeps the doctor away." And this humble fruit is truly a silent hero of healthy fiber. Apples are very rich in soluble fiber, especially pectin, which binds to cholesterol and helps eliminate it, actively reducing bad cholesterol and lowering the risk of heart attacks and strokes. They are low in calories and sugar, supporting glycemic control and weight. Fiber also aids digestion, combating constipation, a common problem in older adults. Antioxidants in the peel have anti-inflammatory effects. Apples are accessible and familiar, offering comfort and nourishment. Yes, an apple a day can really make a difference. And if the apple is the silent guardian of your heart, What about a fruit that simultaneously nourishes your bones, your brain, and your skin? I'm talking about avocado. Among all the fruits on the table, avocado stands out. It is not a celebration of sweetness, but it is the healthy fat that nourishes your body, especially after the age of 60. Rich in monounsaturated fats, it protects the heart, nourishes the brain, lowers cholesterol, and reduces inflammation in the joints. It's fuel for longevity, clarity, and strength. Avocados are rich in vitamin K, which is essential for bone strength and fracture prevention, a key for older adults. They also provide folate and potassium to regulate blood pressure and reduce the risk of stroke, and lutein for eye health. Avocado says, I'm here to help. And if avocados strengthen your bones and brighten your mind, imagine a fruit that not only soothes your digestion, but also helps calm inflammation throughout your body, especially where it's most sensitive, your joints. Let's discover the healing power of papaya. In a world full of antacids and supplements, it's easy to forget the power of papaya. It is the digestive and anti-inflammatory miracle that many seniors need. As we age, our digestion becomes more sensitive. Papaya contains papain, a natural enzyme that helps break down proteins, lightening the digestive system and providing relief from bloating and reflux, especially for those on long-term medications. It is rich in vitamins C, A, and E, which strengthen the immune system and fight chronic inflammation linked to arthritis and heart disease. Its texture is soft, the flavor delicate, the effect profound. It requires no cooking or complexity. A few slices a day supports your body from the inside out. Papaya reminds us that healing sometimes comes packaged by nature. Now that we've explored the fruits that can put your health at risk and the ones that can protect your brain, strengthen your heart, rebuild your bones, and ease your digestion, the question becomes, what happens when you put these choices together? How can you turn them into a simple daily lifestyle that protects your future, one bite at a time? These are real senior tips that matter. Let's find out now. Your health is in your hands, one bite at a time. As we move through the more mature chapters of our lives, there is a quiet truth that becomes clearer with each passing year. We can no longer afford to take our health for granted. The foods we once ate without thinking, the ones we grew up eating, the ones we celebrated with, or simply enjoyed out of habit, now have a new weight. Every bite brings healing or adds extra weight to the load our bodies have to handle. But here's the hope. It's never too late to make better choices. And sometimes, the better choices aren't drastic or difficult. They're as simple as reaching for a blueberry instead of a handful of nuts, choosing an apple instead of a sugary snack, slicing up an avocado instead of using commercial spreads, adding papaya to your breakfast instead of seeking relief from antacids. These small decisions, made day after day, begin to build something powerful: a stronger heart, a clearer mind, more stable joints, better digestion, and most importantly, a sense of control and mastery over your well-being. It is a gift worth protecting. It is part of the wisdom of the elders, a heritage to be cultivated. We must also accept with grace and wisdom that not all foods are suitable for us at every stage of life. Some fruits, although natural and once beneficial, may now conflict with the needs of our aging bodies. Grapefruit, bananas, cherries, in excess processed nuts. They are not bad in the strict sense, but they require caution. They require us to pay attention to our medications, our blood sugar, our kidneys, our individual health conditions. And being aware is not living in fear, it is maturity. It is respect for the body that has sustained us all these years. So, let this video remind you not of what you can't have, but of all the wonders you can still embrace. Nature has gifted us with an abundance of healing foods. We just have to choose them with intention and wisdom.